everybody, Kyle here. Sorry, my cat literally. Well, I'm apologizing. You guys aren't going to see the video that I was recording this once. Luckily, I didn't get into the match or anything yet. Like, I literally had just started the commentary, and then my cat walked by, and his tail bumped the cord and knocked it out of my camera, and then everything just went to crap. Everything just went downhill from there. So, to explain what I mean by that, my camera is hooked up right now to my computer. Well, not anymore. The cat knocked it out. But I hook it up to my computer just because it's easy. Because it keeps it charged, so it's charging while I record. And then I just hit USB activate, transfer file, and then I unhook it, and it's all done one step. I don't have to plug it in, unplug it, plug it, plug it, plug it in, plug it in. You know what I'm saying? So I tried to do that, but then the cat knocked the cord, and whenever you put the cord in or take the cord out, it stops whatever's happening on the camera and jumps to the main menu to let you know the cord has been pulled out or the cord has been placed in. And so I got like 3 minutes into the recording, and then it was just like, hey, would you like to enter USB mode? And I was like, no, damn it, cat, come on. So there we go. But jumping back into the video, restate my what I was saying. This match has a cool story behind it, or there's an interesting story. I spent like 2 hours trying to find a 6v6 with just random people, because again, I don't have enough people on Twitter that I can just like tweet out I need a match and get one. You know, and the subscriber count isn't. It's hard for me to find. Right now, I don't have enough like viewers/followers that I can just be like, hey, I need a match, and then fight someone, you know? And I also think it's exciting anyways for me to challenge random people too, on top of that. Though I do like battling viewers, so I haven't had a viewer challenge in a long time. So, but it took me a really long time, and I found out that for some reason, if you challenge people to flat rules, which is no duplicate Pokemon, no duplicate items, and no special Pokemon, like Legendaries and Mega Blaziken, I believe. Or Speed Boost Blaziken, specifically. People, even if they have a team that technically qualifies for flat rules, they always seem to say no. They will decline you instantly. Whereas if you challenge them with normal rules, which is Legendaries are allowed, you can duplicate items, duplicate Pokemon, blah, 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 blah. Even people who have teams that are legitimate and don't have those problems anyways with flat rules, they still will then only accept normal challenges. I don't know why, but they do. So whatever. So I changed it back to normal because I can find a 6v6 within an hour at the most. And that's if I don't move around either. You know, this was me moving around 2 hours to find a match. It was ridiculous. But I found one, got a 6v6. But when I challenged him, he used a Hyper Beam on a, oh gosh, I can't remember what Pokemon's called all of a sudden. It's the lizard that has dry skin, that's like electric normal. Can't remember his name. Well, he used Hyper Beam on LaFonda with that, and one-shot LaFonda. It was a crit, but still. So I'm like, wait a second, how did I die to that? Well, then I look up, and he's level 100, and I go, oh, wait a second. What did I do wrong? It turns out I challenged him with no rules. So his Pokemon were all level 100, and mine were only in the 50s. I think one was like 65. And that was all I had. So I was like, okay, wait a second. So I left the match. I re-challenged him with normal rules. And being a good sport, Yusuf immediately accepted. He did change his team, which is fine with me. And here we are. I didn't change my team, though. But, I mean, we literally only got to, like, turn 2 or 3 before I realized his Pokemon level 100. And then I reset. So, it's not like I gave away too much information about my team. Anyways, now looking at the teams, you guys probably already, as much as me, have realized that he has a huge ground weakness. Drapion, Blaziken, Aggron, Manectric, Magmortar, all weak to ground. And then Hydreigon is his coverage. So I can't really give him credit for having good coverage defensively. And offensively, you know, he's got a good amount. He's doubled from fire types, and I mean, that happens. I'm doubled up on water types. So, but yeah. So I mean, basically, I realized that my win condition was just to get LaFonda out safely, and then Earthquake things. Which my idea of getting her out safely meant one, Hydreigon had to be dead. Or I'm sorry, Hydreigon had to not already be on the field. Because if Hydreigon was already on the field and he predicted me to switch in and use Draco Meteor, that would suck. And two, I had to make sure that he wasn't running HP Ice on Manectric. I had to make sure he didn't have like Ice Punch on Magmortar or Blaziken or something like that. You know, I had to not switch into a Dragon to a Draco Meteor or Dragon Pulse. And I'm sure one of his other Pokemon get like Ice Punch or, you know, some kind of Dragon move too. So I had to try to scout out how fast his Pokemon were and figure out what I had to get out of the way so that LaFonda could then come in and finish the job. That was my plan in my head. And then looking at my team, of course, I mean, the only Pokemon that really isn't going to be doing too much this match is going to be Magneton, just because there's so many things here, you know, that have Earthquake or that have things to kill him. You know, Drapion, Earthquake. Hydreigon, they can get Fire Blast or Flamethrower. Blaziken, of course, will get Fire Damage or Earthquake. Magmortar gets special Fire attacks. Manectric gets Overheat. Aggron gets Earthquake. Like, Magneton wasn't going to do anything in this match. There was no way. So, I knew that if I ever had a death fodder, it would be Magneton. And that was about it. That was about my only plan. So I felt pretty confident going into this. I'm going to go ahead and start the match here. It's already been about 7 minutes. So get into the match. Come on, match. So there is Mr. Yusuf. Is my camera a little crooked? I feel like my camera's crooked. Maybe not. Well, I'll adjust it slightly. It's about to start. So he does open Drapion. I did not expect that. So I opened to F-Zero. There wasn't really too much. Yeah, my camera's a little off. There wasn't really too much that I could do to Drapion with F-Zero, since he is only weak to ground, I believe, is his only weakness, which is pretty cool. So I go into Esquire because at this point in time, Esquire, I think will be fine here. I saw the Toxic Spike, so I would put on my Safeguard. So if he did force me to have to switch out, I wouldn't have to worry about getting poison on what I switch into. But when I see this Aerial Ace damage, I realize I'm a Special Wall. That was super effective from a physical, and that did almost nothing. So he's obviously a very defensive Drapion. So I am fine to stay in here. So I just throw up Leech Seed to give me some sustain against Drapion. He goes for the Stab Earthquake, I guess just scouting how much damage he can do, and that's going to do even less, because even though it's Stab, it's also not very effective. So this Drapion no longer scares me in any way. I decided I'm just going to stay in and just try to set up. I already have my Safeguard up, which is cool. I got my Leech Seed out. And I think at this point I try to scout how much Giga Drain does. No, he switches out. Never mind. I'm trying to remember what happens. So Magmortar comes in. Now, even though this super affects me, I see a lot of special Magmortars, so I wasn't actually too worried about this. And I was setting up Calm Mind that turn. I didn't expect him to. I expected him to switch out, but I didn't do the Calm Mind expecting that. I just wanted to set up anyways. Because when I looked at his team, I figured either Blaziken or Magmortar were going to come out. I wasn't sure which one. Luckily, it was Magmortar. I don't know why Blaziken didn't come out. I go ahead and just throw the Leech Seed onto Magmortar as well. He goes with the Fire Blast, and this is going to do a huge chunk of damage to me even after the Calm Mind. But I still feel like I can outlive him in the long run. I know it's kind of cocky to say since he's at full HP, but I just, you know, seeing what this Superior can do, I'm pretty confident, you know, it's taken down bigger foes. Now, this is where I scout Giga Drain. It does okay damage, but it does not do anywhere near enough for me to be confident in one-on-oneing this thing. He does go for Confuse Ray, but Safeguard is up, so I'm guessing maybe he doesn't have much experience with what Safeguard actually does, which is great, because I mean, other than doubles, you don't see Safeguard too often, and I really love running it, especially since I have such a wall-based team. It keeps people from being able to just Toxic my walls, you know, or Thunder Wave my, you know what I'm saying. I went ahead and re-put up my Safeguard here, because again, I'm not afraid to stay in on this Magmortar at all. And so I just reset it, because, I mean, I'm going to get a bunch of HP back this turn anyways from leftovers and Leech Seed, so it's not even a problem. After that Leech Seed, Magmortar is down to about 50% HP. I'm actually probably about 45, and I'm feeling really confident at this point in the battle. I'm like, okay, you know, Esquire can really wall his team, apparently pretty good. I went ahead and switched into Crude here, expecting a Fire Blast again. Also to remove the Toxic Spikes, but he does go for the Psychic. I don't know if he predicted that or if he was just testing out a different move. But it's not Stab, and we all know Crude is a very bulky Pokemon. So I'm gonna eat up that. I'm gonna eat up that Psychic like it's nothing. Sorry, I'm trying to adjust this a little bit more. There we go. This should be perfect. I go for the Scald here, and since there's no Sun Up or anything like that, it won't be enough to finish him off. And that's me Magmortar out of the way, and First Blood for me. So I got the Toxic Spikes out of the way. I got Magmortar down. And I'm sitting pretty right now. I'm sitting pretty. Manectric comes in. Now I am special, defensive, and he didn't Mega. So I was like, okay, I can stay in on this. I go for the Scald again. I was hoping I'd get a burn just so I could have even more damage. And I know Manectrics usually aren't pretty tanky. So I liked the fact that I saw that much damage. I was like, okay, cool. He goes to Thunderbolt. I don't know what the point is of having both. I realized I would go down to another hit though, but I wasn't about to switch out. I probably should have. Oh no! I'm wrong. I'm sorry. I do save Crude here. So predicting him to just keep going for electric moves, I pull Crude out, and I'm gonna go immediately into my Garchomp here. Oh no! Wow. I go into Esquire, predicting the Thunderbolt. That's right. I'm sorry, guys. I don't. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't live record these passing challenges, so but I go in there, not very effective. I get the health back. Giga Drain just even more health. So Esquire is looking like, you know, he's sitting in a good spot, and that's 2 Pokemon down already. So right now I believe I'm at 6-4. So we're doing pretty good. I'm very confident now. I'm like, okay, 2 big threats off his team. You know, the HP Ice possibility of Manectric is gone. Magmortar I thought might have the Ice Punch is gone. I see Hydreigon, and I think this might kill me with some, you know, if it has some fire attacks. Might be able to take me out, so I go ahead and just Leech Seed it. And we see its Flamethrower does more than the Fire Blaster Magmortar did, but it was also a crit. So that did explain it. I was like, okay, that makes sense now. It's like, really, a Stab Fire Blast did less damage than Flamethrower? But, crit. Crits happen. Leech Seed, even after that, though, there's no way I can take another Flamethrower. I don't believe so. I just took this chance to reset my Safeguard, figuring that Esquire is going to go down at this point. He ends up going for the Dragon Rush, which I was not expecting. It has such a cool animation. I guess maybe he thought I would switch. Either that or he just wanted to kill me with something else. I don't know. Alright, so I go into Misty here, knowing that I'm probably going to outspeed, since I did scout that he wasn't choiced, since he switched his moves, and I killed him. See, now the big mistake, actually I'll get to that at the end of the match. I'll talk about the mistake I think he just made. So that is Hydreigon out of the way, and now my win condition is pretty much met. Because other than Blaziken, I outspeed everything with Garchomp, and so I just need an Earthquake. I go back into Crude, figuring that I can wall this thing pretty well. He goes for Toxic Spikes, and again, of course, I'm not worried about those anymore, because I'm in such a good position already, and I'm switching out so often that I'm not too worried about building up poison damage and sitting on the spikes. I go for a Scald to see what kind of damage I can do, hoping for a burn. I didn't get it. He goes for Night Slash. He is going to get the crit here. I don't know if that crit mattered since I'm not a physical wall, but seeing that his Drapion was a very defensive one with the Black Sludge, there is a chance that I might have lived that, but I don't actually know the calculations on that, so I can't really call it either way. But as I said, now it's Garchomp's time to shine, so I'm going to go ahead and switch in and go immediately for the Earthquake, because he can't switch into Hydreigon anymore, and there's nothing on his team that can take an Earthquake. And so that's going to be Drapion down right there. Boom. And I'm like, okay, what's he got left? Blaziken and and his Aggron. So I figured this was probably his Mega at this point, unless it was Blaziken. But usually Mega Blaziken comes out early on, so it can start speed boosting on you, and his didn't. So I expected it to be Aggron, and sure enough it was. Now, he does lose his ×4, and it goes down to a ×2 to ground, and he has Filter, but even then, Mega Garchomp Earthquake is just too good. Now, he has Ice Beam, which is cool tech, but since that is not a very special Pokemon, special attack-wise, at least I don't believe it is, I can't imagine it is, it doesn't do very much damage at all, even at ×4 weakness, so Earthquake is going to take that out, and Blaziken, I believe, is his last Pokemon here. And I go ahead and I go for the Earthquake on that as well. And that is Blaziken down to 1 hit. And that's the match. Sorry that it's not a very exciting one. I still am breeding the steel team, and it took me a while to find this match. I ended up working both my days off, like I told you, so I'm working like 12 days in a row. So I don't have too much time like I normally would on my weekend to have a bunch of really cool matches and save them so that I have stuff to show you guys. So I had to just go with the one I could get, and this was it. Normally if my opponent, I feel bad saying of a lesser skill level, but looking at his team, the fact that he has such a giant ground weakness, the fact that he could have done more predictive switching, just all that kind of stuff, and he didn't do it, leads me to believe that he is a lower tier player than I am. I do not mean that in a rude or cocky way. I know that I am far from the best, and that this man is most likely also learning just like I am, because we all are always learning. As Shady Penguin said, he's been playing competitive, since X and Y came out, and even he is still learning. And that's true. You will continue to learn, because the metagame, at least in, like, I call this Wild West Pokemon, where anything goes except for legendaries, the metagame will always be changing, because there's so many Pokemon that you can use. I mean, who uses Superior, really? It's fantastic. And it's cool, too. I mean, Magneton didn't even have to show up. So Magneton's probably feeling pretty lucky. But I think at the end of it ended up being a 4-0, because I think I lost Tentacruel and Esquire. I believe those are the two that I lost. But yeah, 4-0. So not too bad. Happy with that score. I'm feeling really confident in this team. Again, I keep promising you guys I'm going to change up the team a little bit. I know I have Pokemon that are already bred in my box, but these 6 work together so well that I kind of don't want to break them up, if you know what I mean. They're such a good team that I feel like that if I switch in another Pokemon, that it might totally mess them up. So I'm trying to really think about a cool Pokemon to introduce, or maybe just like leave my defensive core in, because I feel like Garchomp, Esquire, Garchomp, Superior, Tentacruel. See, they all do work though. Like, I can't look at this team and pick an MVP. They all do work. So I just don't know. You guys tell me in the comments if you think that I should break up this team, or if you don't mind me using them for a while I work on breeding some other Pokemon. Because I do want to entertain you guys. I don't want you guys to get bored of seeing the same team all the time. So definitely just let me know. Just let me know. But back to what I was going to say about the mistake. Now here's the thing. This is why I think that I might be on a different level than him. Maybe even just by a little bit. So his Hydreigon. It used, what did it use on my Superior? It used Flamethrower? Yeah, it used a Flamethrower, that's right, and it got a crit. Now, I didn't know, obviously because I outsped it with Leech Seed, it wasn't Choice Scarfed. But I didn't know if it was Choice Specs, Though with Choice Specs it would have killed me now that I look back at it, but I wasn't thinking too clearly. I'm still not a high enough skilled player that I can see a Pokemon do a move and then go, oh, that's Choice Band. Oh, that's Choice Specs. That must be Choice Scarf. I still can't do that right away. The only way I can tell if a Pokemon's Choice is if I can try to scout it to do multiple moves. Now, I left Esquire in, knowing it would go down. I was already sacking it anyways. And I want to get up that safeguard, but at the same time, he was also doing a third purpose. He was setting up safeguard. He was getting a little bit, he was delaying. He was helping me scout that Hydreigon. That's what I'm getting at, and also setting up safeguard at the same time. Now the point was, Hydreigon might have been Choice Specs, and I wasn't sure. And even though there was no reason for him not to just go for Flamethrower again, if he over-predicted me to switch, predicting the Flamethrower, which he might have done when he did Dragon Crash. Is that what that move's called? Dragon Rush. I think it was called Dragon Rush. When he did that move, he might have been predicting Garchomp to come in, predicting the flamethrower. By doing that attack, though if it had succeeded, it would have been a good prediction. If he was on the same skill level as me, and again, I feel like such a dick saying that. I'm not saying that I'm way better than him. I'm saying that maybe just a slight bit. Maybe I just have more experience, even. You know, like I'm not really better. I've had more time. I've had more battling time. I mean, I do have 457 hours in the game. So, obviously it doesn't take that long to beat the game, and I just ran through it. So I have a lot of battling and breeding hours under my belt. And then at the same time, I'm constantly watching, tweeting, following, you know, speaking with all these other Poketubers and Poke people on Twitter, and I'm just constantly learning the metagame. I'm just constantly learning it, and then I'm getting advice from you guys, you know, here and there, and it's fantastic. And so I have a lot of help. And that's why I'm at where I'm at. So again, please don't take this as me trying to say that I'm like the best around or that I'm totally just crapping on this dude. But what I'm getting at is he should have realized that there's no way I'm gonna try to save Esquire at that point. Yeah, I could use him to set up a safeguard later, but I was already at such a lead, I wasn't too worried about it, and I already got my safeguard up. So it should have been safe for him to go to Flamethrower again. And then by going for Flamethrower again, it wouldn't have revealed his other tech that he was mixed, or, you know, gave away his possible item. I feel like he wasn't Life Orb, was he? I don't think he was. I can't remember. Pardon me, I'm sorry, guys. I really hope he wasn't Life Orb, because then I'll feel really dumb if he was Life Orbed. But I feel like Blaziken might have been Life Orb. I actually don't know what the item was. Maybe, what would his item have been? I don't know what his item was. I can't... A lot of his Pokemon died so fast, I don't know what their items were. I do not know. But by revealing that he was not choiced, though I already knew I could outspeed him with Garchomp if I had to, he just sealed the deal that I was like, okay, he's not going to be faster than Starmie. Starmie can come in, she can use Ice Beam, he's not going to be able to use Dark Pulse on her, and she'll go down. And Hydreigon will go down, and then Garchomp can come in and finish the match. And also, if you noticed, since Crude was on the... I'm pretty sure, even though he threw up Toxic Spikes, since Crude was already on the field and didn't switch into them, that the Toxic Spikes were still there. So I set up that safeguard knowing that I was going to go into Garchomp as soon as Hydreigon was done. And I didn't want Garchomp to get poisoned on switch-in. So that way, if for some reason he started trying to protect Saul Garchomp, I wouldn't be taking residual damage from poison. And he would be forced to try to go for a move when Garchomp will probably outspeed, since I am running a fully invested speed Garchomp. Mega Garchomp. I don't know if Mega Garchomp gets a speed boost or not, or even gets slower, but I heard that Mega Garchomp gets slower than regular Garchomp. So while I have you guys here with me, I'm actually going to pull it up and check. I think that might be a cool thing for us to look at together. Together. Forever. Pardon me. Let's just pull this up real fast. Garchomp. Oh, he does get slower. Garchomp has 102 base speed. Mega Garchomp has 92 base speed. I did not know that. Mega Garchomp also has extremely high special attack. Nothing compared to its physical attack, but special attack is really good. I wonder if anyone's ever thought of running a special Mega Garchomp. Could you imagine? But yeah, so I'm not going to keep you guys. This video is already getting pretty long. Again, thank you so much for watching. Yusuf, good match. I did end up adding him as a friend, so hopefully you guys will see him again in the future. Maybe he will also grow as a battler as I will, and you'll see us. You know, maybe I'll be his Azuz. You know, he'll see me and be like, "That's the guy that I want to be able to beat." Once I beat him, I'll pick the next guy. Although I'm far from beating Azuz. I know that for a fact. And Azuz, we still need to fight again. We still need to play another match. Someone soon. But I also wanted to say we have a new subscriber. I don't know if it's the general. I don't know. There was someone that I met today, or not that I met. I went out to breakfast with a friend that I hadn't seen for like a year. And he also enjoys Pokemon, though he doesn't play it competitively. He doesn't even have the newest generation. But he is into it, and I shared my channel with him. And then I also got a new subscriber today. I don't know if it was him, because whoever the new subscriber is, I want to thank you for joining. But I can't thank you by name because I think you have your subscription set to private, which is fine. But thank you very much for your subscription. I hope you enjoy the channel and you enjoy our little Poke family here. And thank you for helping us grow. I love comments because they let me interact with you, and they also give me, it's also your way of giving me feedback. If there's something that you see me doing wrong, or little coaching tips you want to give me, or just fun things you want to, or something you just noticed you thought was cool, just let me know in the comments. When I come home from work, I work a lot at my regular paycheck job, which I wish I didn't have to do, but I'm far from being able to quit that in Pokemon full time, you know what I'm saying? But when I come home from work, it does me so much joy, or it does me so much good, and it makes me so happy to see comments from you guys, because I know that that's someone who hopefully has enjoyed the video that they're commenting on, and that I get to then interact with, and I really, really appreciate that. You guys always have such awesome things to say, even if it's something simple like ZTJ, ATJ one time was just like, that was a tough one. After a match it was a pretty technical match, and like even that, just the fact that he appreciated the difficulty of the match was, a good feeling. But thank you guys again for watching. I want to cut this off before it gets too long. I hope you guys enjoyed the match. I am breeding the Mono Steel team now, so it will be a while before I have a new Pokemon show up. But the Mono Steel team, or the Mono Element show match against the mysterious Poketuber I haven't told you guys about, will be coming up eventually. Give me a little while, since I'm working 12 days straight. It's very hard for me to be breeding and doing battles and working. And since I want to make content for you guys, I do put that priority over the breeding. And I did speak to the gentleman who I'm having the match with, and he understands that. So it's going to be fine. You will see the match eventually. But alright guys, I keep saying goodbye. I really need to say goodbye. Again, thank you so much. I appreciate you, coming to check out the video. Hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you next time on the next video.